Hello and welcome. Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a Galaxy Cup match, and if it is the losers bracket round 3, let's double check. No, it's the winners round 3. Probably could have checked beforehand. And this one, I got the replay from Tagada. The playing the Vault is corrupted, unfortunately. Map is Whitefire. Classic map with a shit ton of reclaim. See 4 massive wrecks here. They're T3 naval HQs. And we're actually going to just go watch some POV. Here we have, well, this isn't POV, but we're going to watch from Mephi's perspective. See the build order because I think it's quite interesting. This is a very specialized build order map. And the player we have here is Mephi, playing in the Submarine. Tagada is playing Seraphim. Guess those would be the two favored factions for this map. Submarine have fantastic frigates. Tagada has, with the Seraphim, the Phobo, of course, the Zui. He has a very good Destro as well, much better than the Submarine. And so the first engineer, you can see that AC is not building any mexes at all. He's going to build a factory, builds E-gens, and builds an air factory. Doesn't build any mexes whatsoever. The first engineer assists the ACU. Second and third engineer are reclaiming. These are going to now build a naval factory once he gets a bit of a full mass bar. You can see there he immediately sees that he's about to waste mass. So these two engineers then switch to a naval factory, get that up as fast as possible. Afterwards, he's going to do some more reclaiming and also probably expand to this island and continue making more naval factories. First naval factory goes up very quickly. You can see here, if we look at Tagada, he's probably making his as well. He is, but only with a single engineer, so I quite like that from Mephi, using 2 engineers to get the first factory up. Now 2 engineers moving to the right. They're gonna get some reclaim and get the hydro. And then the air factory is also done, and that's just inties and scouts, no bombers. And once Mephi gets the third factory with his ACU, he's gonna leave and go move his ACU to here to secure it with his ACU, because that can't be raided. Basically, these 2 land factories are just for build power. You could also make some units out of them to drop, but I think it's mostly going to be used to get engineers to attack move and take up all these trees and the ice chunks in between as well. There's a lot of mass in natural reclaim as well as in these wrecks here. And Mephi's probably also going to tech a mass extractor pretty soon, I would say. Now he has a decent, okay energy. He's gonna once he has his Hydra, he'll definitely have enough for some mechs teching. That's a pretty nice way to use mass. Every T1 mass extractor has 13 build power, which is a lot. And you can see Mephi's build order is very nice. He is less on power because he's a bit slow maybe to get Hydras. Other people will rush them a bit faster. Tagada might have his. No, he doesn't. Just has a lot more T1 P-gens. Also a second air factory from Tagada. But Tagada is behind a navy. There's already a frigate moving across that can potentially get multiple engineer kills. Certainly this one's very vulnerable. You can kill both these mexes. You can kill the expanding engineer here with the first frigate. That's often what the plan is for that frigate. And Mephi now making his 4th naval factory. Tagada is still working on his 3rd, so Tagada could be in some danger. How is he going to make this double air factory work? Well, he's going to go for transport, so he's going to be expanding very quickly to the right, or even potentially making a proxy. You can do a proxy land base on this map. Definitely is an option, and looks like maybe that transport has been spotted and targeted by Mephi's interceptors. Although no, he's actually attacking. Oh, he is attacking the transport. The engineers get dropped off. Or do they? Oh, they just about do. And then get... well, they take no crash damage. Balance team's gotta look at this crash damage. Fix that stuff. So poor Aeons take 100 damage. And that frigate got in, and I don't know if it killed any engineers. That's one dead engineer anyway. The frigate went down. It was quite annoying. Didn't kill this engineer though. It's an easy target. Looks like the follow-up frigate will do that. But now we have 3 frigates from Tagada. And Mephi's already at his reclaim with the commander. So another transport coming up. Time to try and drop this expansion again. Mephi lost all of his air, so I would be thinking about a bomber. Also, considering there's 2 land factories here, I mean, dropping a few units across to the front island could be quite bad for Mephi. What would he have to deal with that if there is 6 tanks here, or 8 tanks even, because of the Seraphim transport? There's 6 T1 mexes and a hydrocarbon and reclaim that would be denied, so dropping this front island could be quite dangerous, especially the ACU is not going to be near there. He's going to be moving to the left to expand and secure reclaim. Mephi not making a transport. He's actually making some mass storage around this T2 mex, which is not common. Tagada's drop gone a bit idle. You can give orders to units that they'll carry out after they're dropped. You just have to give them orders as they're loading onto the transport. If you hold shift as they're loading onto the transport, you can give them orders. But it seems most people don't do that. You don't really have that much time, I guess. But I think a lot of people are quick enough to put that in their game, and it could be quite nice and help in a few scenarios. Mephi with a pretty nice eco balance, but no transport to expand here means this is kind of slow to the left. But Tagada would have been nice and quick. Would have got a nice advantage if Mephi hadn't found that transport, the first one, and taken it out. Gotta be careful that those frigates aren't stacking and taking AoE damage. Mephi wins that fight, and now better run away so he doesn't leave too much reclaim. Probably gonna lose. Well, he doesn't even lose one of his frigates. Nice micro here, moving back, letting full frigate come in, and also now we have subs, but they need to... well, actually there's no torp defense, so the subs are gonna do really well. Oh, there is one now. A torpedo launcher here. Gotta stay well away from that. And it's a lot of subs from Mephi. He's one of those players that likes to go for subs. And he's still making more of them. That's a lot of subs. But now we have T2 air for Tagada, and we may see torpedo bombers, and they will take care of the subs very quickly. Factory going up here. Significant reclaim to be grabbed in this location. We're just going to be staying on T1 Navy and making, looks like, quite a lot of T2 mexes. We already have 5 here and 1 of storage, so about 6. One thing to note on this map is what mexes should you tech. Well, obviously the first 4 here This one is raidable. These two are raidable. One's on the front island. Bit more safe, but only until T2 Navy appears. These can be dropped and stuff, but generally they're kind of later teched, these ones on the right. But if you feel a bit unsafe, then you can just storage mexes in your base. You have T2 PGen coming up, and Mephi's moving to T2 Navy now. So interesting move for Tagada to go T2 Air. Very often the first T2 tech you see on this map is T2 Navy. Looks like Tagada getting the better of the sub-war. Look at all this mass here. These sub-wrecks are quite juicy. And ooh, there's quite a few of them here. Look at that. 150 mass in each of those. And that's quite bad for Mephi. Looks like he's losing the sub war, and he's made a hell of a lot of subs, and now there's even torp bombers coming in, and you can see here, there it goes, one pass, he gets the kill. So Mephi not looking too hot right now. Tagada just full on sub war. I mean, I guess it's time to move to T2 for him right now. He has pretty nice eco balance. Well, he has a lot of power. Probably needs to reclaim some of that back. And I would like to see some Zooey drops. I mean, it's just so cheap and really keep your opponent on their toes. There's no reason not to, in my opinion. Cheap, good potential for damage. I mean, you can see there's no radar here. All of the air is on the center island, so use the options you have. He already has a transport from previous, well, from earlier on in the game. Just throw in a drop or two. Why not add some Zooies? For now, this is just an absolutely obscene number of subs. And oh no, why? Mephi's going for a cruiser. I don't understand that. I want to say it's a misclick, honestly. I don't know why you would make a cruiser. Maybe he doesn't know that Tagada has 1 million subs. Well, let's see, Mephi has 10 and 10. That's 16 subs. That is a lot of subs. So this could be very dangerous for Mephi. You can see overall, however, Mephi, more mass income, more total mass, but about a PGen behind, T2 PGen behind in terms of power. So he's suffering for that right now. Should have built this Hydro. Damn, should build it right now even. And pause air, etc, etc. Tagada out in the middle of the ocean with his commander nabbing some reclaim. Why not? I mean, getting in the water with your ACU is dangerous because relatively you're more slow, even slower than on the land, because all Navy is fast as fuck. I mean, most Navy has like around double the speed of land units basically. Frigates are, you know, around 6 or so. Let's see. Yeah, 6 speed for a lot of these. For the T1 Navy, it's 6 speed, and on land, you know, it's around 3-ish for a lot of units, give or take 1. So you're even slower than you are on land, and you're already the slowest thing on land. And that's a lot of subs doing damage to him. So we have to get the sub war going. Tagada a lot more subs, and this cruiser is left at the back, and there's a destroyer on him. This cruiser is fucking dead. And that's the first T2 unit Mephi made. I don't know why he did that, but I'm quite sad to see it. Nice to see Mephi making a TMD. So many players decide they don't need them, but then get wrecked by TML. But right now this already looks good for Tagada, and we even have T2 air moving in. Air looks pretty even. Actually, there's quite a few left back here for Mephi. So Mephi may actually have the air control. 56, 43, so yep, pretty ahead in air, but that only matters if you go take that air fight and assert your dominance. And Tagada with that T2B gen has got some nice adjacency, got a little air base going. It's nice with air, you can also make a nice grid. You can see you can add more P-gens here with adjacency. Or when he needs his next P-gen, which is probably not going to be for a while because I'm going to be focusing on T2 Navy, and that does not require a huge amount of power. Tagada's ACU getting a lot of reclaim here. And it's quite risky. It is quite risky. He has no upgrades, no T2, no nano, which would help him. But he's making it work. Feels he needs to take some risks. I mean, you gotta favor Mephi in this matchup on paper, but Tagada's improved a lot recently. So he's probably thinking that to take out Mephi, he probably needs to take a risk, so this is a decent risk to take, and he also probably maybe got the upper hand on the faction as well, which is a bit maybe of luck on his side. I mean, I don't see Mephi taking advantage of any other Submarine weapons like T2 air or like T2 land with Wagners. It's just a T2 and T1 naval fight, and the problem there is these Destros are not up to scratch compared to the Seraphim. Seraphim just have a lot more micro capability, and the Submarine, you can see it when they're turning here, they're just not shooting. Like now, this cannon stops firing. Neither cruiser is firing, or neither destroyer, and they're just trying to run away at this point. Now the T1 subs are not going to be a huge help at all, but these three Destros absolutely mauling this force. Look at it. This is the problem. Once Submarine's running away, it's absolutely fucked. And even the subs are doing damage to assail them because there's just so many of them, combined with the torps of the Seraphim. And these T2 mechs on the front island look fucking juicy targets. Mephi continued to eco over here. Will we see a cruiser? I think we ought to see a cruiser from Tagada, and then he can go to try to go to work on this island. Actually, the Destros can hit these mexes, even though they're so often shooting the ground with those lasers. They can, I'm pretty sure, on Whitefire hit some stuff. It's quite flat. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm sure he'll move over here, maybe give it a try. Tagada similarly making some economy, making a lot of economy. And he even has a gunship, which is, well, it's dying to Submarine frigates. Tagada trying to take this opportunity. He already won a good fight there, took out 3 T2 units. He's going to keep the pressure on and takes out another Destro. Mephi, meanwhile, is looking for ways to save this, and he's got T2, he's got stealth, and now he's making a torpedo. This will be interesting to see how the torpedo does right now, because it is very strong upgrade. If we just look, let's take a look at the cost, because no one knows the cost of anything, so we'll just learn a little bit here. 800 mass for T2, 350 mass for stealth. Torpedo, 1500 mass for that. So torpedo same as TML ACU. And I think it has like 250 DPS maybe. Or maybe it's 250 damage per torpedo, I'm not sure. But we're gonna see how much damage it's gonna do very shortly. Tagada looks like he lost. Oh no, he didn't lose his Destros, he did just move them over here, and you can see TMD is not gonna help versus lasers. And yep, still, oh, we do have a cruiser now from Tagada. And there's gonna need to be T2 tech over here if these want to survive. There's a lot of targets for this cruiser once it gets up a bit closer. It's almost in range of some stuff. It won't be able to get past this TMD, but this T2 could be killed. Also can do just consistent damage onto stationary Navy. So we have 6 Destros, still supported by those subs. You can see actually Tagada looks like he's reclaimed his T1 naval factories. He's just all in destroyers and a little bit of T1 Navy, but almost all of his mass going into Destros. I think that's a good choice, especially for Seraphim, because the destroyer doesn't really need the support of frigates. It's just better at its job than any frigate is. And if it gets surrounded, it can just submerge and do damage from underwater, or, well, yes, do damage from underwater and even retreat, or even attack from underwater. And look at this, Cyber Navy has to retreat again. There's so much reclaim here. Look at all of this. Destro Rex. Not sure what that is. Maybe something got overkilled a lot. Maybe it's a mermaid, in fact. But Mephi is now here with his Cybern Torp Commander. And there goes that T1 sub. The cruiser launching some missiles, maybe towards the air, but the TMD is protecting. More torpedoes coming out of the Torp Commander. Let's see what damage they do. Yeah, that is 250 per torpedo. Look at the massive damage. Well, there goes one Destro. This one low HP. These 4 quite high HP. But Mephi also has a huge range on his Torp Commander. Now 2 Destros, or was that even 3? No, 2 Destros just went down for Mephi. Big losses. His commander already has done about 1k mass worth of damage. Very, very high damage on that. But also very, very exposed potentially if he gets spotted. Now he does have stealth, which helps greatly. So a unit has to get up right close to him to spot him, but it is still risky. There's T2 air out there, so some volley of torpedo bombers could take him out. Still have not much going on really, except just this concentrated fight. Everything focused on this. The reclaim field forces more fights, which leaves more reclaim, which means this is really the only spot on the map that's being attacked. There are options, I mean, for people to do damage elsewhere, but if that slows them down and they lose access to this reclaim field, then maybe doing damage elsewhere is not so worth it. Nice use of the cruiser here. Actually, he can target NGs that are reclaiming, but the TMD on the cruiser is holding off the missiles right now. Tagada says Cybern OP. Well, the Torp defense is still helping somewhat versus this Torp commander. But look at this range. This is the range. I mean, that's very, very big. If you look at, say, the range of a Destro's Torps, they're much, much smaller. And he can't be spotted thanks to the stealth. And Tagada doesn't want to fight. And that means he's giving up all this reclaim. Also, Mephi could reclaim this very quickly with his commander. But he actually has some mass in the bank. Needs another T2P gen, it seems. Here it is. Be done pretty quick. And Mephi also massing his own little squadron of torp bombers. Both players, well, pretty much mirroring each other, except that Tagada's ACU is now retreated, does not want to stay in the water when there's a torp commander. Still no potential damage over here. Means some T1 RT drop, T2 RT drop to different locations could do a lot of damage. There's a lot of T2 mechs spread across the map, but anyway, the T2 naval fight is happening. Tagada is pushing in with many destroyers and just the last vestiges of his T1 army. The Salem's turn to try and escape. Mephi has to keep running away with his ACU so that he doesn't get surrounded and killed by the torpedoes of the Uashivos. Oh, these destroyers are getting wrecked. The Salem's just cannot deal with this damage, and now the torpedoes come in, aiming for the ACU. As they haven't spotted, he has been spotted. Maybe he was stalling power there, and the attack move was given before the P-gen went up. He's still taking damage, but has quite a lot of HP left, and now the air fight looks like Mephi is gonna win this air fight, and Tagada has killed so many Salems, killed actually every single Salem bar this one that's just come out of the factory. And the ACU still lives as well. But there's still 4 Seraphim destroyers, 5 in fact. And a cruiser from Tagada is gonna sort of negate that air win. Actually, it's not an air win, it's just Tagada had all of his inties out of fuel, or a lot of them. So Tagada actually does have air control. Unfortunately, this cruiser does not have air staging, unlike the Submarine. Mephi's still trying to fight, but he's losing yet another Destro in a 4v1 or 5v1, and it's just gonna die so quickly. One goes down for Tagada, and another destroyer dies for Mephi instantly. This looks quite bad. I think we're seeing the power of this Seraphim destroyer just absolutely wrecking the Submarine. Oh, that's a T3 mech's almost done. I mean, Tagada's economy looks quite a bit weaker than Mephi's overall, but who cares about economy if you can gain access to all of this mass? Look at that 20k reclaim on the screen, 21. So many dead destroyers, and Mephi's commander is surely going to die quite soon. He's done so much damage with that commander though. Just really puts into perspective how well the Seraphim destroyers have done versus this. Versus the Salems, that the commander has done 3,800 damage. But it's not enough. Not enough at all. And a lot of these even have full HP. Mephi calls GG. Lost air, lost navy. Was about to lose his commander. Lost all the reclaim. Tagada just not ecoing at all as much as Mephi. Mephi must be guilty of over-ecoing here. I mean, we have storages, full storage here and in the base, and almost a T3 mechs, 85% finished. And meanwhile, we have a couple storages, no storage on the rest of the map, just T2 mechs and T2 Seraphim destroyers. So Mephi tried to get that eco lead, but maybe just went a bit too far on that. If he had 2 Destros here instead of this T3 Max that didn't get finished. Might have been better. Also, T2 subs maybe were an option that he could have gone for instead of pure destroyer. T2 subs can do very nicely versus Seraphim Destros. And yeah, that was an option, but ultimately Seraphim Destro won out, Tagada won out, and well played from him. GG. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this game, and I'm going to continue coverage and eventually get to the latter stages of this tournament where we have some non-best of 1, we have some best of 3, best of 5 as well. So stay tuned for that. Will be up pretty shortly. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.